Woohoo! We're live.
You'll be happy. She did a good job out there.
Gotta do the dance.
Oh, Lauren.
If you need her again, let her know.
Yep, it's the Go Live dance. Lauren has friends in her office,
Oh, can you hear them?
and they're so friendly and so Southern. But I already knew they were leaving based on my ability to hear the full conversation, so it's fine.
Well, I actually put in headphones so that you wouldn't be able to.
Oh.
Like, I thought this would be helping. Heard that whole conversation, huh?
Just a very friendly guy and his pal Lisa.
You heard more than I did.
I can't concentrate. That was the fun, vibrant squirrel. Hello, Christopher.
Oh, that's great.
Hi, Jessica. Okay, I'm still working on your stuff, but woof, I logged into your backend and I'm trying to convince Lauren to do the same. She was like, I'm not ready to look. But I promise we're going to take care of you.
Yep.
And I'll just have that tutorials page complete for you, among other things. I spiraled, as usual. Sorry, Jessica. Yeah, 2 people here like immediately. That's so exciting. Oof. I am forcing myself to sit outside so that I'm away from my external display and maybe pay attention, because it seems like every time I zoom off to do other things, Lauren calls me like that teacher that knows you're not paying attention to respond to something. So hopefully today goes better. We will see.
Meanwhile, I just assume that you're paying attention.
Weird.
Like
Weird
any good student.
I'm not a good student.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so great.
Okay, I'm prepping stuff on my end for some of the things Hannah told me she's gonna spring on me.
I have all of these things that we must cover, but if you guys have questions, you can throw them in the chat and we will get to those too. The things on my list, I tried to email our people so that you guys know the agenda. It's going to be comparing custom themes to baked and branded to decide if like our past custom clients could come over using baked and branded, or if they would specifically need a custom theme, like what compromises must be made. And then what else do we have? Oh, adding ingredients to the recipe card, because my sister-in-law sent me this really cute text that was like, this is so genius. And I was like, what? And then there was another one, recommendations from, I think they were mostly Raptive, but regarding mobile recipe card changes. Is that something that you've seen from Mediavine users as well, Lauren, or is it Raptive specific, like that particular?
No, I think that's anyone that's running ads on mobile.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, we can go through that. I don't know if you want to wait a couple more minutes to see if anyone else shows up and brings questions, or if you want to dive into some of this stuff and we can do questions at the end.
Let's do questions at the end, because I feel silly just wasting time to waste time. And I do feel like our custom versus baked and branded conversation is maybe boring, but I want to do it anyway.
True.
Sorry.
Could be. So do you want me to start with the custom comparison side by side or the recipe card?
Looking at our people, let's do the recipe card stuff. Might be more relevant for Jessica and Christopher.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and add my screen on here. Let me make it smaller, so hopefully it'll be easier for you guys to see.
Homework. Look at you go.
Yeah.
You're ready for any scenario.
Thanks. Okay, so a couple of things Hannah wanted me to talk about for recipe cards, because we've gotten a few emails about these things. And then, of course, the text message she got from her sister-in-law were about adding ingredients into the instructions so that they're in line, so someone doesn't have to scroll back up. Of course, like when we had paper, you could see it all at a glance, but if they're on their phone, scrolling back up to the ingredients might be a pain. And so showing how you can include the ingredients with each instruction item. And I'll look at that in 2 places. And then we'll look also at like some of the changes we've been getting from clients that really want to improve how ads show up inside of the recipe card on mobile. So basically ads, like one of the smaller ad units that performs well is 300 and I think it's 300 pixels wide. And so if your reader's phone is like, let's say that their phone's 320 pixels wide, the content area for where that ad would go might only be like 280. I know I'm throwing out a lot of numbers, but usually there's a whole bunch of space on the side of your recipe card, and then maybe a border, and then more space on the side of your post. And then depending on your site, there actually may be a third instance of space, which makes your recipe card area really small, which means your ad doesn't have a ton of room to display. So I'll show you in here how we can turn some of that off. So let's start with that, because that is the like you change that only in this template editor. So just to show you guys, I'm in WP Recipe Maker. If you go to template editor, you can change out the layout of your template however you want. I'm on a staging site for Erin's Kitchen. So we're going to be working with what I already have kind of set up for her, but I have a template that we're using just called EK. And if I edit that template, I have these options that I know I went over a little bit in a previous live. So in order to give the greatest amount of space, I'm going to pull up and show you what one of these looks like. And I'm using a new browser that I don't totally know how to use. Okay, so this is like the smallest screen I think you'll see anymore. 320 pixels is maybe like an iPhone SE. Most iPhones I think are 414 pixels. But let me go down to her recipe card, which may or may not be using this exact thing, but see how there's space right here. There's this white space, and then inside of this area, there's white space. When you're editing your template, okay, hold, I don't know how to use this browser. Here. This is not her exact template that is showing on the front end, but essentially we can get rid of some of the space. We can get rid of this border and then any space inside by editing our template and then removing some of that information. So like my border, I can say I don't want a border. I wonder if I can click. I can't do none, but I can say border with 0. And then it doesn't look like there's a padding option in here, but you will, like all of the templates, even his default ones, if you go into edit CSS, there's going to be a section here that has the padding. Let me see if I can find that. Okay, so here's this template, and then here's the padding, and I can just delete that, or if you prefer, you can do padding 0. And then now there's no spacing here, and there's no border. So that would be a really easy win if you are running ads and you want to make sure that your recipe card can fit an ad as well as possible. Otherwise, like your ad company might add custom CSS, or you might have some negative margins and stuff like that. But if you are DIYing and you need to fix it, this template editor, and then removing some of that CSS, removing the border. Okay, so that one, like I would just click save and that would show up. Like I said, it's not on the front end of her site, so I can't demo it for you, but I can actually show you platings and pairings. We did do that exact thing on her site. And so if I go down to her recipe card, which I just went right past, is this not even a recipe post? That's something I would do. Click on a roundup. Steps. Okay. Try this again. Here's a recipe. So we got rid of the padding on the side here and her border. And now if you look at, so it looks like the inside of her recipe card is still only 280 at 320. But if I go up to like 414, the inside of it's now 374. So we have enough room there. In her case, we actually emailed Raptive to ask them at what screen size it needed to stay at 320 or at 300 pixels inside. And they said they didn't have a specific size, just as much as possible. So we didn't remove any of the padding on the left and right because then all of her content would like go to the edges. But we did get rid of it in the recipe card. Okay, my other piece of the recipe card is, how to put like your ingredients with your instructions. So that one's pretty easy as well. If you go into edit blocks and then you come to your instructions block, you're going to have options here for inline ingredients. And so this is using just like the default demo recipe. And you can see this here is where the ingredients, the like amount of an ingredient is included with the instructions. So you can like say different ways you want it to display. I have inline text style set to uppercase. Oh, here, it has it uppercase right here. These are associated ingredients underneath. That's saying after text. I can change this to, let's do bold. I think associated ingredients was what Hannah's sister-in-law included in her screenshot. But here you can see the associated ingredients. And this is what I personally like more, but you can do either in the format. For those, you have to actually have in your recipe card the items associated. So this is just like in your template, making sure that they will output and then controlling the display of what they're going to look like. But to actually associate so that the instructions know like this ingredient goes with this instruction item, you'll go into your recipe card. And I like to do pretty much all of my recipe card editing through the manage page. And then click edit recipe. And then here's where you have your ingredients, but then with your instructions, you can associate your ingredients. So here I can say, this is where the salt, sugar, leaves, garlic, peppercorns, thyme. And then here it looks like water. So if I associated this one, it was going to do it with the full gallon versus 2 cups. So you'd have to decide whether you want to do that or if you're going to split those items up. So you could use like group headings up here to separate gallon of water into different sections.
That is so complicated.
This is where like the turkey goes. Yeah, I think like if you've already got your recipes all set up and you're going back and doing that, like a VA can go through and just fill it out and then make a note of this one wasn't quite perfect, right? And then you could decide whether you want to change it. So I love the fact that it's just like content-based, like mindless work.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can't happen automatically. So someone's having to actually like associate it. And then you would save this and it would show on the front end.
Okay. I like the solution with a VA. That helps.
Yeah, when you're not picturing yourself doing it.
It gets a lot easier.
Well, even like filling out this recipe card, I feel like is probably tedious for the most part.
Yeah.
So if you're already used to filling out the tedious recipe card, you probably are like, what's one more step? But if you have to go back and edit 500 posts, like, yeah, I'm getting a VA. I'm getting a VA. I'm going to show them exactly how to do this. We're going to be in a project management system. Easy.
So easy.
I like that kind of stuff.
You would.
Mm-hmm. Okay, those are your WP recipe maker questions.
Yeah. I guess
I think they're easy.
Ha! The size things, so boring. It really got to me. I just tuned right on out. If I had had that external display, I would have been making something.
Fair enough.
Sorry. I love you, and I love that you're willing to do this for me. Just not my strength. I'd probably figure it out if I had to. Okay, so I guess let's talk about custom or baked and branded because we don't have any questions and it's worth muddling through. Boring, but maybe it won't
You
be
said
boring.
we don't have any questions, but you haven't asked Jess yet if she wants to put any questions in there.
I thought I did earlier. Jessica,
Oh, I'm
or
sorry. You might
Christopher,
have.
if you guys have any questions, please throw them in the chat. And also, I've like added all of our followers on the page and shared information with our little group, and we're a small crew today.
We are.
It works.
That's all right. You want me to do this? Do this side by side walkthrough?
I do actually. So
Okay. I actually was like, maybe she wants to do it. Maybe she wants Lauren to not.
okay. So most of your questions are there. I guess we could go through your email, Jessica. I think this is worthwhile because I think there are other people out there. But let's put a time cap on it. Let's say by 1:30, if we're still stuck in the details, we move on.
You'll kick me off. Got it.
Yeah. Okay, so the
All right.
backstory on this. Should I share it? Is this like I want to sell Flavor Bender on Baked and Branded. Flavor Bender is a once coupled custom theme. So
Well, we have a couple clients you wanted me to look at, right?
yeah,
So there were two people that have kind of just asked us about doing some small updates on their site. And we've been like, but we could give you all of these updates if you wanted to do baked and branded. So of course, with a lot of our clients, we do like a custom upgrade from the custom theme to WordPress core blocks. But I mean, we do like baked and branded, and with clients like Lori asking us if they can get similar blocks in their custom theme,
and
kind of
then
posing to them what the options would look like. Yeah, and then Hannah sending an email out saying like, "Oh look, we can just do these blocks in 30 seconds."
So then we had other people asking.
Yeah. Well, I'll go through the homepage of Flavor Bender, and then I'll go through the homepage of you want to do coconuts and kettlebells, right?
Maybe. Or was it Endless Meal?
You did say endless meal.
It doesn't matter. Either one is great.
Yeah. I feel like there's a few. Yeah. What I kind of was talking about with some of these is it for some of our clients that are looking to keep something really custom, like if you want all the custom details, doing some sort of custom upgrade is going to be the way to go because you can get something really similar with my pretty extensive at this point knowledge of block themes. But if you just want something that's branded for you, but has all of the existing blocks that Baked and Branded has, then it would be a really good option as well. So what I'm going to kind of do is just looking side by side at these two pages, kind of go through like if I were to update Flavor Bender to something custom versus to Baked and Branded, what that would look like. Okay, so just kind of side by side on here, if I were to take Flavor Bender and put it over onto Baked and Branded, I would, and like really not customize stuff, just like make it look branded for her. What I would do is essentially update the color scheme to match hers and then update the fonts as well. And that would be like probably 80% of the work. I mean, I would have to tweak some of that based on like her colors and like how this is set up. But I would say like 80% of making the site look more like Flavor Bender would be putting her logo over here and then changing out the colors and the fonts. So I feel like that would go a long way. But what I would also do is I would go through and I'd make some pretty small changes to pull in her branding as much as possible. So like she has this graph paper background. This is just a repeatable pattern. I would throw that onto the front of this. These images are square instead of portrait. I would change the aspect ratio of these. Where there's some negative margins, I'd probably get rid of those. And like this is nested on along the bottom. I could do that, or I'd probably just center it. She has a content area and sidebar side by side. Probably wouldn't keep that. It is possible even with Baked and Branded pretty easily. But just with a lot of the way that the trends are going, I wouldn't keep that. I would change it out. And then I would more than likely not keep this overlay area. It is possible, but there'd be a lot of places you'd have to edit it to do that. So I probably wouldn't do that. I would just change these images to square. Maybe I probably wouldn't bother with this initially, at least. I'm looking if I could use something similar. I'm sure we have, like, again, whatever block I use to replicate this download, I would keep this little graph paper background. And then there were a couple things I noticed, like, for instance, these icons right here. We don't have a really similar icon setup, so this would change. It would look pretty different. Let me show you on here. Let me scroll down to the bottom and we'll go to all blocks.
We could make them colorful and square with icons, but they wouldn't be numbered, essentially, right?
Yeah. So like they looks more something like this. We could add a background in, but yeah, there wouldn't be the numbering. The way that the text works and everything might just be a little different. This has like a semi-transparent background. May or may not be able to do that depending. And then also, what else was I looking at? Sorry for scrolling a lot. I'm sure there was another area. Okay, well, the icons would be one area. And then if I get down here into the footer, I don't think we have a block that's exactly similar to this. We would lose kind of this border right here. You could maybe do it with a background pattern. Just depends on what kind of assets are already available from her design.
I'm thinking of your fun squiggle on the creator theme site as you say that.
And then the footer looks pretty different, so we wouldn't recreate a whole new footer. We would do something like we would either use existing blocks from other areas to make a different footer, or we would just kind of fit this content into what's happening here already. Mm-hmm. So I definitely so just to go back top to bottom from branding, like we would keep the colors and fonts, we would keep the background pattern, the logo. While we wouldn't have this up at the right, we could do like a red, the same kind of color scheme, just above it here. The image aspect ratio would stay the same. We could easily do these icons. And then this like text above. The button would kind of lose this underline, but we would still have the color scheme there to pull from it. These buttons, I probably wouldn't have them up here because I think our buttons are below. Let me find a query loop. Yeah, so we have our buttons below. So those would be below, but we could make them look like similar to this where they're, on a white background and they're the pink color. They wouldn't have the chevron, they would have the arrow.
And just to add the disclaimer, that's not that these are limitations within creator theme. It's more that if we were trying to align this super custom theme as closely as possible with baked and branded,
yeah,
without getting too crazy with styles, because like obviously Lauren could do anything, but what's recommended, what should you be doing, and then what's just an easy transfer over.
Yeah, this would look pretty similar because it'd have the background. This would all be one image, just a button. This where it's kind of like tilted like this with an arrow, I would probably just have that above it. This would be an icon and this would be the title.
Okay.
And like I said, this little pattern here. No, because I would be, if I'm just trying to switch it over to baked and branded, I would try and keep things as simple as possible, similar to baked and branded. Mm-hmm. But if I were to do a custom theme for this site, yeah, then it becomes a whole different conversation. Because if I were going to do a custom theme, I could do these buttons up top and keep that. The social, they could even be all those different colors. But I really wouldn't want to do this geometric shape around the search bar for a variety of reasons, including it would take a lot of custom CSS. And then with a lot of people using something like Slickstream, I try to have a button And then if Slickstream is disabled, it'll show search recipes. But for most people, you would just click on the button. So I would want the experience to be a little bit different as well. The menu always has, I could go on and on about menu limitations, but I won't. I will just say the menu, even when I do it custom, I try to minimize everything we do with the menu to make everyone's life easier. These kind of overlays I probably wouldn't keep, especially like they kind of like don't have the right spacing on them anyway. I think they did at some point and they don't anymore. So it would change how that works. I could probably, other than that, I could do almost everything else on here. It would just come down to talking about what do we want to do.
So defining moments, menu, always.
Always that darn menu.
Icons and images. And then details, like those little shifts. You like my move there?
Yeah.
But I'm looking at hey there, and it's doing the same thing. Hey there in her sidebar.
Yeah. But I mean, I would do this little rotation in custom. I would do these.
Yeah.
On hover, I don't really want to do them for reasons, but I would definitely do them on their own. But like for this, I'd be like, do I really need this up here? Can I have it over here? Because it'll be like less fragile if I don't try and throw it up there. I wouldn't want to change this just to an icon. I would leave this as text. It's going to be better for accessibility. Now, if I have the title and then I have a view all button on mobile, view all has to go directly under the title. I think it's kind of fine either way. So I just leave it up to the client on what they want to do. I kind of lean towards more buttony links than just like links. Like I'd make these look like buttons if I was allowed. Could go either way.
So maybe an interesting discussion or point worth sharing with people is that, yeah, there are tons of ways that you can super customize your site, but we've built Baked and Branded with a lot of the recommendations that will make it perform better. Like these buttons look like buttons. They don't just look like text that users feel like they're rolling the dice on whether or not they're going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to see. It's 1:27. You have 3 minutes. What are your burning statements that you feel like you've got to send into the wild for whether someone is a once coupled creator theme customization or they can get Baked and Branded by the end of the month?
Well, the statement I want to throw into the wild is that, and I know some clients are struggling with similar things, is that a lot of what I can't even, there's too much pressure. What is the statement I've got to make?
2 minutes.
I'm really talking about like individual pages right here and like header, footer, and things like that. But you have to think about like all of your posts as well. So when my clients are asking about changing from like custom to custom blocks or to Baked and Branded, like they also have probably blocks they've been using in their site that need to be maintained later. And if they have custom blocks, then it's probably better to go a custom route because I can just take care of it. Otherwise, they'd either need to like do some sort of retainer where I can do that, or, and I like this better, is work with a VA and just replace that stuff with core blocks, because that's kind of been like my mental shift is, yes, I can save time by doing this as a developer and I update it in one place and it updates everywhere. But like that actually ends up costing a lot more for other people who can't do it or can't find someone else to do it, versus like if I just need to replace blocks everywhere, I can hire a VA to do that. And no matter what the block is like, whether it's custom or not, like a VA can go in and recreate that content.
Another selling point, because creator theme is built in a way that most VAs should be able to understand.
Yeah.
With very limited SOPs, and it's not going to be specific to your theme. It's that if you're working on WordPress in 2025, you should be able to figure this out. So that's interesting. and helpful. Either way, though, it's a lot of work. You've got a lot of content. You got to move it over.
Yeah.
You've got to use these fun new blocks, and you weren't using them before. So you're going to have to click the clear content button and then move your content to where it displays in a pretty way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's not bad. Even with hundreds of posts, like, I'd rather hire a VA than a developer. I mean, I'm biased because I know a developer I know what damage they're gonna do. So I say damage because, like, I'm a perfectionist, but okay, my time is up. I didn't even get to the other 2 sites. I'm so sorry.
It's going to be okay. Okay, so Jessica asked, if we accidentally change a purple block, is there an easy way to undo it? Yes, the back button. But Lauren, do you have a better way? Like, if it was changed a while back, I guess. Or if it was changed by someone else. So that's something that Lauren and I encounter sometimes.
Let me think. Let's go to this staging site.
Oh boy.
Well, this is fine because I'm doing everything local for this site now. So I can do whatever I need on the staging site and it'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay. Hold, because I don't know how to connect one password to this browser yet. I decided to install it like 10 minutes before this live. Thought that'd be a good idea.
What is this browser?
I downloaded Arc, which is the browser Christopher uses.
Yeah.
So that I could have side-by-side tabs.
Oh, clever. Okay. I changed and saved it days ago. Whoops.
Whoops.
Yeah, I added a WH because I didn't want to do oops, but now I did.
Okay, so from pretty much anywhere, like if you go into this site editor, edit site, you'll see pretty much anywhere you go into it, there'll be these template parts. Otherwise, if you want to look for those specifically, you can go into patterns and then template parts. And these are all the purples as well. I mean, some of the purples are synced patterns and some of them are template parts. Template parts are usually like added by your theme to have something that's across your whole site. Synced patterns like used to be reusable blocks, but now they're called synced patterns, and we merged it all because we realized that they weren't different. So that might be a little confusing, but template parts, probably what you're editing. And then in here, if you click into any of those, you should have revision history. See if I can find one that I actually have that for. I believe I did this. Okay, so this one, very fun, doesn't have any revision history for me where I can go back. That might be due to like something on this site. It may be due to your configuration as well. Usually should have revision history, but at the very least, I could click reset and it'll change it back to what it used to be. So like, this is what I made it look like. And then if I want it to go back to, this one didn't have, excuse me. This one didn't have baked and branded, so it's going to look way different. But if I click reset, it takes it back to where it was. And so now if I wanted to change it, I'd like restart from here. Okay, so Jess, you said you edited the page with the sidebar. So here's what I would probably do.
Reset. Beautiful. Should have clicked the 3 dots.
Yeah.
Magic.
If you did that with your page with the sidebar, like you might be looking to change the template or reset the template. So like, let me just show you that real quick. So you're going to have like templates and then template parts. Template parts are going to be the purple sections. But like if you have the whole page that you need to reset, it's still going to be in that same area. It's just that it's going to be in the template section instead of template parts. And here you can see I do actually have revisions. So this 57. Is a template. Yeah. And I could either reset it, or in this case, I can actually go back through the revisions and be like, okay, I actually wanted it, to this version, whatever this version has.
No one knows what that stuff means.
Exactly. So it'll have green sections so you can see like what you changed, which might actually make sense to you. And also because it's dated, like that might make sense to you. And then
Yeah.
you can restore and it like you can go back to other ones and restore those as well. So you're not like hooked into it. If you click the 3 dots and click reset, I don't know if it saves a revision for that or if it's just like bye. Here, don't worry. We can do it on this site.
You want to undo your undo and then redo? That's what you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
What if I undo it all, but it undid something I wanted to keep?
Oh.
Okay, I'm going to reset that template. And it got rid of all those revisions. So FYI, check your revision history first. If that doesn't get you where you want and you want to reset those 3 dots.
Okay. That's stressful. Okay, it says there's 3 people, and I've made sure that I am not the third. Introduce yourself, third person. I am nosy. And if there are any other questions, I would love to answer. You did that in 5 minutes flat. Look at you go. Oh, you're going back to custom. You couldn't help it.
Yep.
Look at how professional ARC is.
I like that I can do this side by side.
Do you like how you aligned it with our faces? Hi,
Yeah.
Laura.
It's Laura.
Yay. I almost DM'd you to be like, are you coming? That's like, that's too much. I'm glad you're here. The fact that you sized the browser windows to be the same size as our face is going to be a lot of fun when I change this to a reel vertically.
I did not do that intentionally.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Interesting. Yeah, that was totally by accident. Did we do these sliders on her site, or did she add those after the fact?
Are you asking me specific things you couldn't find me? I'm sorry. I am going to work on a page that's like, I think if people follow the creator theme page and get notifications, you can get notified with like an easy button to click every time we're live on Wednesdays. So I might try to do that. Like,
Ooh, I
just
wonder
walk
what's
you through
happening
how.
here.
It's probably your weird size.
You're a weird size. Oh yeah, it is though. I don't know, but it's still weird. It's still weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Look at the site
I
credits.
feel like what's that?
Look at the site credits.
No, I mean this is our site, but I think it's been modified by someone.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we did the sliders on there because I talk almost everyone out of JavaScript based sliders. I feel like when I look at these 2 sites, I think coconuts and kettlebells would be easier for me to do.
Okay.
Just because hers seems like it doesn't have the sliders and it's all like pretty straightforward in terms of layout. I feel like this is really like quite, I mean, her header's a little complex, we would change, but she doesn't have anything like overly fancy with her layout.
That almost looks like our about block.
Yeah,
That's who we
true.
copied. I think we used her.
Oh, did we?
I think she was our inspo board. Okay.
We could go look in Figma and see.
Yeah. We could not.
Yeah. This one is okay. Like changing it, the thing I look at is mostly the sliders. But she also has some of this information that right now WordPress has like a bug that won't let us put this recipe information in these query loops. We can only do it on the recipe card.
Mm-hmm.
So she has that. She has a few of these like backgrounds that are like icon based. So they'd be a little bit harder to get perfect.
I don't know. You're saying that, and I'm thinking that looks really similar to like in the list block where you have that icon pulled off. You just uploaded it as an SVG and then made it a slightly transparent of that color.
Yeah, but this one doesn't. This one works different. It does look similar, and we could try it.
No one cares how it works but you. We only care about what the user sees.
Facts.
Jessica, Yes, I need to send you an email about. Okay, so basically, Jessica's one of the core folks from building Baked and Branded, and we need to. I mean, I made a sweet discount for everyone that's on Baked and Branded that wasn't a core member, but I think I owe you some plugins like FAQ and list extension because we've built custom blocks that work for those and they're not delivered with the Baked and Branded plugin. I think I'm supposed to send those to the 8 core members. She's going to look at the bundle and then she's going to be like, no, these are included, and they're not. I want you to log in as Jessica as a user, and then I want you to log in as the person who bought it last week. And let me assure you they're not, even though they should. And that's what I almost asked you about today in Slack.
Oh, that was your whole like mental breakdown?
Yeah, I got stuck. And then I was like, I'm just going to fix it. I can't break anyone down with me.
I was gonna go just fix it, but then she was like hating on me, so.
That's a perception, not a fact. It's not hating on you. All the love. Sorry if I'm a hater.
So the FAQ plugin, or the accordion for the FAQs, is a plugin, but we just need to get Jess a license.
Yep. And then
And
also,
you don't want me to just do that?
Yeah, go just do it. I thought you were going to tell me that it was already there. I was like, it's not already there.
That's an assumption.
You're right. It is. I'm good at those. Cool. Give her advanced list extension too. I think those are the two that are like, we've customized blocks within Baked and Branded, so the founders should get them. Did we do a featured comment, or are those manual? I think they were manual.
I think I used the block.
I can go look.
Okay, well, I'm setting it up now as well. Any other questions we can get while I do this?
I'm dancing and waiting for questions because if I scroll off in another tab, I'm never going to make it back, guys. She says it was a block, I believe. Okay, do you remember her having a drop down and then you searched for the comment, or did she just write the comment? Regardless, I've totally busted that block on Power Yoga and didn't upload feature comment block and manually wrote my own comments because that's who I am. You're like, and that's why you're a nightmare.
I mean, it's not like it's bad. It's just that you can pull in featured comment block will at least pull in the recipe rating if there is one. So you don't have to do that manually. You don't have to pull in their like name manually. I wonder if it works with WP Discuss. I don't know if it does, but like if they upload an image, I wonder if that would be included. I haven't tested that.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Okay. I had a thought I lost it. Oh, it may have been Laura. I can't remember. Asking about whether you can change the verbiage of those comments. Like if someone spells something wrong and you just want to make it look
You'd
right.
have to do it. You either have to edit that comment like in your dashboard, or you'd have to make the block manually and type everything in on your own.
Okay. So you can edit comments within your dashboard and then it would be handled. Beautiful.
I think the automatic FAQ, you're going to have to email to Jess because I haven't fixed the link in Freemius. But if you check our sent email, I have a way for her to download it. Your face. Should I make that a priority?
Look in our sent email.
I don't know if that's the right one or not.
I'm not tracking, but I will figure it out.
Okay.
If there's time, humor me. Pretend like you just bought Baked and Branded and installed it. Ooh, I've been doing this all day. You have an existing site with plenty of content. Where do you start? What would be the top, say, 5 things to do? Okay, Lauren, go to the creator theme site, to the pages.
Me? I'm not done with this other homework assignment you gave me. Can I have 14 seconds?
That's a big ask. I can possibly present in 14 seconds. Let us see. Guys, I'm not going to be able to present, but I'm going to try.
No, because I'm already done.
Great. Okay. Go to creator theme pages. This is what I'm making for you, Jessica, and I'm really excited. And also, Lauren said something that really validated my approach. It's not
Should
a
we to log in?
Yeah, you
Okay.
got logged in. Sorry, I haven't finished it.
I feel like this browser is slow. Who uses this, Christopher?
You were really something.
Okay, pages.
Tutorials. The draft that you just went by, baked and braided tutorials. Yeah.
I need the full name.
Okay. So we have the scribe walkthrough of uploading the theme files that Christopher very nicely made for us. And then I said go ahead and upload included plugins. The reason that I say that is because if I don't do it in the beginning when I'm all excited about the shiny new stuff, I'm never putting those plugins on the site. So that is my step 2 for everyone. Like, just go ahead and get them on your site. And if you decide you don't want them later, you can delete them later. So next up, step 3. This is where Jessica is, I think, except I think you've already done some of this. Critical brand elements, logo, colors, and fonts, because that's going to, Lauren said earlier, get you like 80% of the way there into getting what you want. I did finish, I think, all 3 of those videos. I'm in the process of uploading what's next, which is global styles. So if it were me, I would, after I've done my logo, colors, and fonts, go through these global styles with header, footer, and sidebar, because then you've got a sidebar on all of your posts that's updated, your header and footer, and that works for most things. Now, after that, you're going to want to level up and snag additional plugin functionality. This is more so you don't get caught in the weeds. So Jess, like you were asking about collapsible FAQs, advanced lists, and then I think post type product links. I would grab those 3 just because they're going to be integral in the next step. I don't know if it really needs to be number 5. I think maybe I need to remove it as a step and just make it like a Hannah scrolled off section. Okay, next you're going to edit existing templates. You would start with the home page, which is already there. And then the rest, I don't know if those are priorities. Lauren, would you make those a priority? I mean, maybe because people will end up on your 404 and they'll end up searching things and they'll end up in a basic category. So I guess these are important, but are they launch blockers? You're muted.
Yeah, because I had to cough and I muted myself and didn't remember.
Oh.
I don't know. I really feel like it's going to depend on the client.
Yeah.
I would personally do these because they're so much easier for me. Like I would update everything global on my site, and then I would start doing these templates in all of my like pages, like my most important like landing pages, like about and start here and whatever. And maybe all my pages depending on what I used previously, but that's squirreling. I would save posts for last because that's going to feel like the most.
Keep going down then.
Thing.
Love me. Stick with me.
Okay. Yeah. So exactly these templates and then the pages, because you can knock all those out, especially if you're just doing the basics.
So I think these must be post-launch.
Yeah.
What?
Just that's like a bullet item, but it's also like one of the biggest to-dos probably for most people.
It's huge, but at the same time, like if you've already changed your header, your footer, your sidebar, your homepage, your search, and your category, at least your basic category archive or template, then you've changed most of your site and your posts are going to look like how they looked before. Yeah. So why not go ahead and launch it and then just start like becoming strategic about how you do the post? Because this is an assumption, a very Hannah assumption, but I'm going to say it into the world anyway. No one is updating every single post before they launch their new theme. There's just no way. There's some that you haven't touched since 2016. Leave them. Get it into your file looking better, and you can always throw it into pretty blocks later.
Yeah. So the reason that is in my head is because I work with so many custom clients and people that have like done a lot of stuff to their posts, but I can actually think of instances where, like, if they switch off of their theme, they're going to lose a certain block.
Okay.
Or something like that. In which case, like, or like if they want to move away from a page builder, in order to like delete that, they have to replace all of those blocks with core blocks. And so that's where I feel like it gets a little weird. But that's totally me, like, going into something that is not relevant right now.
Okay, so on page builders and posts, I guess I would like to, since it's 1:50 and we have another question, Jessica, I will probably ping you via email because I am going to keep looking at that. I know it's something that you're dealing with from your previous theme. Yeah, exactly, Laura. Like,
Yeah.
posts are there. Get it into the
Laura
wild.
knows.
She's a quick start queen. I think she was our first person to launch. I think so. I really do. I love it. I was sharing your testimonial on Facebook yesterday. Okay, Jessica says, please talk to me about menus. What do you want to know? Because Lauren's going to be like,
Ugh,
there are no drop downs. And I'm going to be like, hey,
menus.
just make it some buttons, man. A bunch of buttons.
Yeah, see, Jess has to update every post. I feel like what I would do in that case is I would probably, and this is totally probably not what's best for you, Jess, sorry. But from a lot of people, I feel like if I had to switch themes and I knew what blocks I was going to impact, I would just copy paste blocks from Baked and Branded into my current site and theme and like use those as is temporarily. And then once my posts were updated, I would switch themes. And then my posts would look beautiful. They would, like, I feel like that would be easier because they would get really ugly versus a little ugly. Okay. I'll go on to menus. Sorry. Also, super sorry for sniffling on this call, guys. Super sorry.
We're all so mad.
What am I looking at? Menus. Oh, menus. Can we go to someone's site?
Can we talk about how creator theme needs to be on Baked and Branded yesterday?
No. Can we go to someone's site?
You can go wherever you want, darling. Oh, look,
Okay.
drop downs, your nightmare.
Yes. Yeah. This is what I wanted to show. I wanted to show Mad About Food specifically because she has multiple menu types on her site. She has drop downs, and this uses like default WordPress navigation block, very few style options. I'll show you what that looks like on mobile. And then we have just like buttons down here. And then this is kind of what I set up for Baked and Branded, was using buttons because I think this is a much better user experience based on like the heat maps and stuff that we've run, the user experience tests. So on desktop, like, sure, drop downs hide information and you can potentially dive into stuff, but like you're assuming your users are actually clicking into that in your header versus like as they're scrolling. On mobile, now they like really have to click to click on this thing and get in there, and then it's not that pretty, right? It's not great. Versus if we just use buttons, like they stay visible the entire time. We can do this kind of scroll here. They don't have like a lot of markup. They don't need any JavaScript. Like they're just going to work as is. So I really prefer buttons, or at the very least doing both. Lemon blossoms.
Hey, wait, Jessica, what do you mean your menu will, are you saying your menu will not be readable? Mine will not be readable. I thought that was related to posts, but then you said 4 menus after that. Am I combining those two comments correctly?
Yeah.
I'm intrigued because I went and scrolled off, as one does, on the pronounced live site, and it seems achievable. No blog post. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, for menus, I like buttons. And like here on Lemon Blossoms, we're just using these buttons. And because we don't have drop downs, but we still want to make those links available. And especially like for SEO, we didn't want to lose having those links on every page. Instead of having them up here in the header where you can drop down, we did in the footer these links. So this will look really similar to Baked and Branded, where in your footer, there's columns where you can put a bunch of links. Those are intended to be like replacements for what otherwise would have been drop down. So you can still like link to all of those, make them available to your readers, have them be like really cross-linked for SEO, but without like taking up space in your header. And then making people like click into a more complex menu that just has a million options. Like give them, I mean, really, even the purpose, like the point of having them down here is just like SEO. They're here. Like we checked a box. But really, in terms of user experience, what I like about having these few buttons is that you're guiding them to like the most important pages on your site. And then you can curate content in there by having them go to more appropriate categories. So this could be like my top categories and go into here. And then I don't know if we've built these out yet, but like for some of these like main dishes, this would be a great place to have like a landing page up top here where we said like chicken main dishes, pork main dishes, etc. So like curating them in steps through your site versus like just slapping a menu at the top. But if you need a menu, you can always throw one up there. I just don't like them.
Well, I think it's important to hear that from a developer because you think, no, it's titled menu, therefore it should be the menu. And if we can do it a different way and we're not penalized for it, why wouldn't we? But sometimes it's nice to know that I'm allowed to do that because my workarounds tend to get real janky.
I have some people that want drop downs because they use it. They're like, this is primarily how I browse my website. Okay.
Yeah. That's fair. But the footer is super cool. Laura, I always forget about it because if I'm trying to quickly launch a theme, I do not have time to curate 40-something links for this footer. But this is why Lauren and I work really well together because she does a great job of it. And
yeah, I made this. I put all those links in and not all of them have content, but I told Hannah those were the links and she needed to put content in them.
And did I do all the content? Absolutely not. But hey, you guys, I would say 50% of them are useful for you if you want to click in and check it out. Anticipated go live date for the tutorials. It was lunchtime, Jess. I was supposed to have it done by noon, but then I needed to eat.
Also,
now,
did you start those yesterday or did you just start those this morning?
Around 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow feels doable.
You say maybe tomorrow, but I feel like you're going to have that public. I mean, one, you could publish it just where it's at for just to see the current status. Yeah. But Hannah's such a quick mover. Like, she came up with the idea this morning, got it 80% of the way there. I'd be shocked if it's not published by the end of the day. And
only
she's
because
just like,
if I don't, I'll forget it exists and it will die forever. So maybe I will dig in. Seems safer to say today, actually.
I feel like I could just go publish it now.
Okay, no, a lot of those watch YouTube buttons are broke, real broke. And then I filmed one that I hate. And it's rare that I hate anything, but I've decided I hate it. But most of them are like 30 seconds. If it exceeds 5 minutes, I get cranky and start over. Whoa. You were such a turd. Okay, all of those are fine. That one, I don't have sidebar yet.
How come this goes to Slack?
Oh, because I make them and then I download them. And once YouTube says that they've been uploaded, anyway, I copy the in progress uploading to YouTube links into Slack. So sometimes they get lost in translation because I don't have a great workflow, but it gets done.
Look at how much you've done.
No, a lot of those are broke. I'm telling you.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't have any of these three.
Okay, I won't save that. I was gonna just put TBD and just like to hell with Hannah.
Yeah, no. Let me It's rare that I care, and I don't need it perfect. It will not be perfect. I'll keep that broken video and not go redo it, but I will get you something, and I will email you guys. I will totally get stuck on sending you that plugin, though. I've got to figure that out, and that's something that I won't move quickly on.
Hold. Before we end this call, let me just go find it.
Lauren's like, let me do this in 5 minutes. What would give Hannah hours of grief and anger at the world? Just a coupon code, maybe?
I have to see. There's one plugin that doesn't work.
And you want it to not deliver to them?
Oh, this one's different. Okay, so the accordion FAQ, I can do that after this. I think I also have to look into it. I have to figure out. I don't know how I'm gonna do it actually, to be honest.
Can we just go into Freemius and give Laura and Jessica, who have shown up for us consistently, a coupon code for today to get the membership?
Okay.
Am I in trouble?
Okay.
It's way easier. Why are you sad?
Okay, hold on. It's not that much easier. I'm freaking out. Hold. Let me show you. Let me show everyone how Freemius looks.
Oh boy.
Present. Oh, I have to change.
Damn ARC. She's back in Chrome, guys. I'm sure of it.
I am.
I still can't see. Oh, yep, there you are.
Did you add it? Okay, sorry. Okay, so basically, we have this bundle, and what everyone bought was this pro bundle, but I need to figure out how to move them into this founding members bundle. And I have no clue how to do that. So you could have them take a coupon and just buy that one product, but if we want them to be able to use a single license for all of their stuff, which I feel like would be nice for them, then I would need to go into Jess, for instance, and then see if I can change her license from one plan to another.
That's interesting.
Okay, so see how it says she's on the pro plan and I want to move her to founders? Like, can I? Look at that. I can.
Magical.
So now I didn't have to do all that. Or we didn't have to make a coupon. They didn't have to buy the product again. Jess.
I didn't have to put anything in Google and then email a file. I'm so excited.
Jess now has access. Hold on.
Beautiful.
Let's go
get Laura.
That's
Who
my
else
name.
needs it? Julie.
Okay. So she needs founders.
Should Eden get one? Man, I'm just thinking of everyone I care about. Yay.
Oh, wait. Eden isn't under her name. What is she under?
Oh.
She's Sweet Tea and Time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're both saying that with a slight amount of confidence.
No one knows. Fine.
We think so.
It's great. Julie and Ethan and John and Julie number 2.
Founders. And then can I go back to that?
Now just go and download them. Yes. And then upload them. Yes. Step 2. Don't forget to get all of the fun plugins that are included, except you get even more fun plugins. Oh, that's so exciting.
I didn't know which of these licenses was Julie that participated Julie's. So I updated 2 of hers to founders. Did anyone else attend that we're not remembering?
You did Julie Diley and Julie Pollitt?
No, I only did Julie Pollitt.
Julie Diley did.
Did she show up?
Yeah, she's the reason that we had Cupcake Ipsum.
Oh, yeah. And then she came one of the times, and then she couldn't find us the other times.
Look. Sometimes we play hide and seek online.
Oh, but now she has 2 as well. How am I supposed to know what? Well, she's the same. I just want a pal, okay?
So pouty. And yeah, this was so nice. Was this included in that video this morning that I didn't watch?
I can't believe you didn't watch that.
Yes, you can.
I mean,
I'm gonna watch it later.
No, it's fine.
been really busy. You
It's
were
fine.
sending that video when I had tutorials to make for Jessica.
No, you don't care about me. I get it. I get it. You know what? It is what it is. Some of us care about the other ones a little more than the other ones care about some of us. You know, whatever.
All right,
Whatever.
guys. I've got to go watch a video now.
No, the video's a little bit different, and the video's a little harder because I can't do the same thing when fixing the people that are in that video. So it's fine. It's unrelated. What exactly do I look for to download them? They'll all be
Freemius.
separate. So when you log into your Freemius dashboard, there should be a tab called like downloads or plugins or I don't know what.
It's downloads.
And then it'll be listed in there now because you are on a different plan that includes that new plugin. So you'll have at least 2 new plugins in there. And I only added the 2 Hannah told me, but we might have to look through there and add others later.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Those 2 felt important. There's another one that I list in my, you know what? Let me just finish my getting started guide, and then I can give everyone more marching orders, okay?
Oh, no.
What?
It didn't save. So
You didn't click save?
there's not a save button. It's just supposed to save automatically.
I'm so excited.
I'm not so excited.
I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna help you. I've just got to find a different browser.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
Freemius has had issues today. Have you had issues with them?
No.
I got like a Cloudways
It's
bad
fine.
gateway error multiple
No, I
times
fixed it.
today.
It's fine.
Okay, cool. She's done
No, I
with me.
fixed it. It's fine.
You couldn't be more Tammy if you tried.
I'm adding some more plugins in there. It seems like the fun thing to do.
Okay.
All right. We added feature comment block as well as post type exclusives.
Jessica asks if she needs to change a license key number anywhere. Given
No.
how you it's all the same, life is good.
Yes, they're all the same. Life is good.
Good.
Hooray.
That was so nice and easy.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And Hannah just wanted to make a coupon.
Yeah, I did. I was like, no one knows what their license key is. No one cares. You click copy.
Okay. If you say so.
2 very different brains. Okay, guys. I've got to take my oldest child from a bus stop to a play date in like 5 minutes. So I've got to run. I am the worst. Thank you guys so much for coming and for asking questions. And Lauren, thank you for fixing a big problem that we've needed to do for such a long time. In 5 minutes. 5 minutes. That's so nice.
All right. Today was fun, guys. I'll see you next week.
Yep. Thanks, guys. See y'all later.